Hello, Music Multiverse listeners, and welcome to Beyond Your Radio. Welcome to Album Listen Challenge Redux 2025. We revamped the show. Why? Well, because it's important to challenge ourselves, to challenge the way we listen to music. We need a little reboot. So what does Redux mean? It only means that we kind of tweaked a little bit of the categories, but we opened the entire Album Listen Challenge to all panelists, sort of, and we have some specialities coming in the next one. We'll talk about that at the end. This one here is also a special one. This is the first album suggested by a subscriber. Yes, but I'll get to that at the end.
Okay.
So we will, talk about the challenge being open to the field of panelists. And tonight, only the ladies showed up for the challenge. Everybody else is got some sort of disease or something.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
And be careful with the vegetable peeler, too.
Oh, yeah.
Just saying.
All right. The person who suggests the album will give the initial information. Well, tonight, our subscriber was going to do so, at least I thought. But we've had some communication problems, and I haven't heard from him, so I'm a concerned in that regard. But
We hope you're okay.
I'll get into that at the end. Those that accept the challenge here are, they'll be introduced, and they will score the album based on the categories we've had in the past. We did a little bit of tweaking there. Then we'll get an overall ranking of the album and the average against all the panelists together. And that album will then score for the best of the year. And currently, Edwin's Another Spin Around the Sun is the #1 ranked album this year with 21.125 average. 21.125 out of a possible 25.
Wow, that's
So
pretty
tonight's
good.
album is up against it, just like every other one. But I got a good feeling. All right, then we'll get final comments and suggestions on the album from the panelists, whether or not they, is this something they'll be listening to all the time? Was it a one and done? That kind of thing. So before we get into the challenge, we're looking for a few, watchers and subscribers to send out their requests. Send us an album. Challenge us.
Yeah.
It's
Yes,
anything.
please.
Hey, with me, it's anything. With the rest of the panelists, yeah, you might be taking a risk.
Mhm.
Although Deb is, she's grown up.
It's never too late.
Yes. Even death growls. What? No. If you've not subscribed to the channel, well, you still got time. You've got an infinite amount of time. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not disgruntled by the fact that we only have 1 million subscribers. No, I'm lying. But hey, why not? And we're extremely
Someday.
patient. So hang in there. If you are a subscriber, you don't have to join Mensa. We already knew you were brilliant. On the panel tonight, it's always her prerogative. Susie Q. No, bad one. All right. She lives for these kinds of challenges, or at least that's what I like to think. Damn, Deb Armitage Hicks Maloney. And, time has no place or hold on anybody else on the panelists, but they still didn't make it. All right. Thank you guys for doing this, and our subscriber. Oh, thank you too, I'm sure. So tonight's album, let's just get right on down to it. It is, well, actually, it's 2 albums, as it shows behind you. It is Time Silent Radio 2 and Time Silent Radio 7. From the artist band known as Accolades, from the Super Bowl championship town and city of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. This was released on March 7th of 2025, independently released by the band Accolades Incorporated. They have been doing this since for a while. This is a band that has had its breakup issues with one gentleman still standing tall and this rendition of the band. But they broke up from Sony a while back. So they're doing this all on their own. So tonight, we'll start with Time Silent Radio 2. And the song list is 2 songs. Well, wait a minute. Now that makes sense. Time Silent Radio 2. Well, there's only 2 tracks. All right. The first track is Time Has No Place at 16 minutes and 37 seconds. So still not as long as a Bob Dylan song. Into Blue and Green is part A. Part B is The Air of Ivy Hill, part B. Part C of that song is Emerald Garden. And part D, Forever, Never. I knew I was going to screw this up.
Uh-oh.
Forever, Evermore.
Oh, yeah. You did say that before.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Then the second song, which is, I want to say, what, 28 minutes and 51 seconds. So, up.
Yep.
Yeah, Bob got nothing on them. Water in Our Hands, parts 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Well, doesn't that lead us to the album Time Silent Radio 7, which is actually 7 songs that have a lesser span of time, obviously. Those songs are Radio Waves at 7 minutes and 1 second, Silent Years at 4:31, Cul-de-sacs and Tunnels at 7 minutes 9 seconds, Boulders on Hills 6:53, Our Brilliant Next 5:47, On We Blur 5 minutes and 41, and it finishes with Tiny Star at 8 minutes and 29 seconds. So this is a lot of music. That's right, a lot of prog. I don't know why I'm doing that voice. They're from Philly. Never mind.
Yeah.
At the album listen challenge, Redux began. And why don't we go to our prog lover, Deb Armitage Maloney, because he said, our challenger said, you guys seem to struggle with prog.
Really? I beg to differ a little bit, but I can see where maybe some listeners and watchers might think that. Maybe as a show as a whole, maybe there's some of us that lean more towards it, some away from it, and we know who we're talking about.
Yep.
But so this band I never heard of before, of course. I don't, I'm still ones come around, and I'm very excited when you give me some bands to listen to, and I've never heard of them until maybe 3 months ago, and now I have heard of them. So I'm, or I'm like seeing who knows, who sounds like another band, and then I can kind of relate and things like that. I was very confused about this exercise at first. I didn't know what I was supposed to do. It was really hard to like Google it and find out, you know, wait a minute, both these are two separate albums. And then I caught on, as you just explained to everybody. Um, this band is for a prog band. I wouldn't say that they are a traditional prog band like I grew up with, which I think is a good thing in today's day and age if they want to reach more listeners. However, there's a lot of intricate musicianship. I mean, that very much is a prog standard, right? Harmonies are really super strong in both albums. And what I read about this band was, and I'm going to come back to something that I keep talking about because I'm so excited for it, but their live shows, they're known to wear costumes to describe what they're singing about, just like Spinal Tap. So Mark can't wait for that show, that movie to be released, so I shut up about it. But anyway,
and it in the soundtrack is planned to be on Album Review Saturday
oh my God, I can't wait.
In September, I believe, or is it October? One of the other.
Okay, well, I'll be there. So, okay, I have to talk about number 2 first. All right.
You can go in any way you want. I don't have any. I just put it that way because, in actuality, when we first did this, and saw this, I was kidding. You know me. That's just how I roll. I was sarcastic about things. I said, "Oh, so 2 and 7.
Yeah.
Apparently, number 1 wasn't any good. 3,
That's
4,
what I remember.
3, 4, 5, and 6. We're going with 2 and 7, Bob. Okay, sounds good.
That's what I remembered you saying, and I actually took you seriously. And how could I have known you for how many years?
How dare
40?
you take me seriously?
Silly me.
That will be one
anyway-
point deduction for your answer.
Oh,
No.
okay. Well, I'm a loser. I'm always a loser. Um, I wish that I had realized about the parts on two for each of the songs having parts to it. I mean, I had a hard time finding this album to listen to. I listened to it on Bandcamp and I didn't have, okay, so I didn't have a lot of details to it and I didn't read a lot about it. I just listened to it.
Mhm.
It was good, but it was to me, it was how I think people that don't like prog would be annoyed by it because our attention spans are so short in today's world. However, is beautiful, beautiful. You just need to keep listening to it over and over again, in my opinion. And now that I know about the parts of the song, I am going to re-listen to it because it probably would make sense listening to a 29-minute song that has 4 or 5 parts to it and start to learn what the story is about, because I'm assuming the parts are a story. It's prog rock, or is it not?
That's always been my one checkmark distraction. And for those of you that are following or not following, this is your first time. I do Unknown Sundays, and this past Sunday, I did a band, orchestra, a French keyboard aficionado known as Melted Space, and I had no preconceived notion, but this is rock opera with symphonic male, female, growl vocal, opera vocal, rock vocal. Jeff Scott Soto's on here. You've got people from all kinds of variant of specific progressive metal, and it's just bombastic. But that story I could follow because there's liner notes that are fantastically put together. Each character's song, or not song, because they're in the song yelling at each other and having their moments. And
there's a dialogue,
right?
Per se.
What they call it, conceptual album, right? A concept album.
Okay, got it.
This is one of those things with the physical copy might have changed certain pieces of this.
Sure.
The album cover's not going to help you. That's
no. No, it's not. Exactly.
But knowing that they were prog, but it's the question of prog is a very dense field. Are you going to be the light prog? Are you going to be the heavy prog? Are you going to be prog rock, progressive metal, prog folk? And the storytelling and the whole capturing of everything sometimes is necessary. And sometimes it's not, to the melody, to the music, to the songs. Did they make this to be on radio? No. They made this because they've been doing this since the 90s, and they have a fan base, and they have a connection, and they love that connection. And there's no sense in suddenly disappointing that connection, I think. So.
And that makes a lot of sense. And me being not a prog aficionado or lover per se, but I'm an appreciator of prog. So that being said, I liked 7 better. I did like and I have a short attention span, I guess. So that was not an insult to you out there. That might have been an insult to me. The very first song on that album that opening was very Genesis to me. Very Tony Banks.
2 or
Genesis.
7?
7. I felt a Tony Banks keyboard in the beginning of that. I could be wrong if I'm mixing up my songs, but I listened to that one on Bandcamp too. So I'm assuming that this would be important to listen to this album in the order that the tracks were meant to be listened to.
And those are always correct in Bandcamp. I don't think I've had ones where it was that wrong.
Okay, that's good to know. I felt like there was something a little bit more interesting about the 7 tracks, a little bit more diverse one from the other, but still cohesive. We'll get to that rating. I think we have a flow coming up.
Held down and forgotten, so blame it all. My losing days, blame it all. Deep life kept us from our brilliant end. Fill my mouth with stone, flowers for the after burning bright. Fill my love with tomorrow, feed the light, lonely claims.
I say that they tried to trick you in those songs, like trailing off ambiently, but then the vocals pick back up and you don't really know when the end of the song is there. You know when it goes into the next song, the next track. But while you're in the middle of it, you kind of get tricked thinking that it's done, but then it brings you back in with more vocals. I thought that was an interesting thing, not the formula that you normally see. But my favorite of all was there's this moody intro to this song, but the whole song does not stay in that tempo, doesn't stay in that same emotional feel, but it was cul-de-sacs and tunnels.
We'll be dancing in an open fire and chasing falling leaves, sleeping underneath the stars and swinging from the trees. I'll keep holding on to that feeling.
Love that song. It caught me every time that I listened to the album, like no matter what I was doing when that one started. It, like when my cat goes like this and his ears come forward, he's listening. That's what
That's
my
you.
cat ears went up. So that's what I got for you, Mark.
Okay. So we'll begin the
Okay.
scoring. Artwork.
Uh, you know what? This is conflicting. I know it's not real ingenious, or I found myself looking at it while I was listening to the music, and it actually it kind of made sense to me. So even though it doesn't seem that it's that new,
Mhm.
it goes with the album. So I'm going to say a 3.75. Oh, am I allowed to do that?
Yes,
Okay.
I'm allowing it.
Okay, because you did say the other one had a 21.125. Okay.
It's high.
yeah,
Yep, yep,
okay.
yep.
Okay.
Flow. The flow.
Oh, well, the flow, it's so hard to tell, but I didn't feel that anything was off-putting. I would say I'm going to give it a 4.
This would be next. Would be the musicianship, the band, the melody, everything.
4.75. There's no question. These are talented people, and this is not, you may listen, you know what's so great about this album? I'm just going to put that out there. This album, the musicianship is so well done that you don't notice how good they are at playing their instruments. It's not over the top. They're not throwing it down your throat.
Mhm.
They are really good musicians.
Yeah.
So I'll say 4.75.
All right. So if they would have got a 0.25, if they would have went that extra mile. Accessibility.
Well, if they were Led Zeppelin.
Oh, okay. Accessibility of this record.
That's the tough one because of the genre it is. I think if you could entice somebody that is a prog naysayer and have them listen to it not knowing it's prog, I think it's very accessible. If you want to just put it out there and label it, so is accessibility how easy it is to get into it while you're listening to it? Okay. I'm going to go for, I got to do both the albums though, right? Okay, 2 brings it down.
They got, hey, yeah, gentlemen out there from Echelon, right? Chris and crew. If you really want to win album listen challenge next time, maybe one album, because it's
Yeah. All right. It's not fair, but it does bring it down a little bit for me because I don't like those songs that are 29 minutes long. I could watch, jury duty on Netflix. I'm gonna go with. I'll give him a 4.
All right. I'm gonna edit that because that just took way too long. No,
Yeah,
I'm kidding. All right, and
Alex, is it
finally,
on your?
production.
Oh, production. I don't even know anything about that. I'm not good at that, but nothing sounded off to me. Not that I'm the connoisseur you are. So I'm gonna give it. I'm gonna give that a 4 as well.
All right, Sue,
Hi.
over to you.
So, okay. So I didn't know if you were going to do a little bit more background and information on them tonight.
You can certainly go there if you'd like.
Well, no, I didn't.
I
I
did.
didn't really research them too much because I just wanted to listen to the music. And I have my own ideas and thoughts on a couple things, but
All right.
so it's a 4, there's still 4 guys in the band. Is that right? Okay. Echoland. It's a nice name. Well, we'll start there. I do like the name. It's a nice
Yes,
name.
me too.
In my notes, I actually renamed their opening song on Radio 2 to Tim Has No Place. It's fun to make up names, I guess. So going
It's
into
a show.
it without knowing too much about them, or even that they were, you probably mentioned they were prog, but I feel like we say everything's prog these days. So I just kind of went in and listened. And I will start with 7 because that's the first one I listened to. So my overall feeling, and I don't like to do this because I'm sure as a band you don't want someone to say, oh, they sound just like so and so and so and so. But if I were to explain it to somebody who'd never heard them before, these are the and they're kind of a little bit all over the place, but these are the sounds and riffs and intros and even some of the melodies and harmonies that I picked up on, that whether or not they influence them or not, I picked, it's just what I'm hearing. So I heard, and maybe I have them on my brain a bit, but I heard, okay, I'm just going to say it. I heard Metallica, I heard Alice in Chains, I heard Queen,
Oh.
Sky Diggers, Gowan, Rush. I heard like shades of Muse, and just a lot of like groovy, like 70s type music. So I guess that's the prog. But then I found that it was mixed with their lyrics were kind of more blunt and maybe definitely like 90s 2000s style. If you read through some of the lyrics, it's almost like the young people's word these days, the teenage word is nonchalant.
Yeah.
So it's sort of like a dry kind of poetry, and they kind of work their way through it very slowly and methodically, and they make songs out of them. And then I would say, continuing on that, I had written going beyond what a lot of newer bands are doing. Maybe not a lot. We'll say some new bands do. And what I like is there are some metaphorical messages that go a little bit deeper, which is I don't want to say it's a throwback to the old back, but that was nice. They're mature. They're professional. They know what they're
Yes.
Maturity, yes.
So proggy sound, but and Mark, you mentioned a lot of times stoner type bands, but so not that kind of prog.
Stoner and prog are generally separated.
Okay.
Stoner is more the, Rob Zombies of the world, the Heavy Katana, the Yawning Man, those kind of things that have a desert kind of feel,
Yes.
or
Okay.
a riff.
Okay.
They're so stoner rock is all about the riff, and
Yes.
that riff, while it tends to go a little Sabbath, it's not always that way, and that's why sometimes it's hard when you talk about classic rock and stoner rock and getting mixed up. But in the prog section of this overall encompassment, this is your standard prog that has that sway to pop,
Yeah.
and it has
Well,
that
sure.
sway to rock, and it
Mhm.
has an ultra sway to even um like a Genesis type
Okay.
of setting.
Right, but that's why Genesis was prog, but then they were able to go pop mainstream so easily
There are
because they were on that edge. It was weird conceptual albums if you actually listen to like, Lamb Lies Down on Broadway and things like that. However, the sound of it
Yeah.
lended itself to the more common ear, I think.
and
Okay.
that one balancing factor is one instrument, and that will always be the keyboard.
Yep, the keyboard, just like I said. Yep.
Keyboard, piano, that infusion giving it space, and that's not outer space sometimes, but it
Right.
just does. It makes it feel it has that.
Yeah.
I've been over time. I always thought that was a bullshit comment, but I no, I don't believe that anymore. I mean, you can be prog and not have a keyboard in there, but something's acting that way.
Yeah.
Something's giving that feeling of that. So
All right.
your comments and your choices of bands that you heard, a multiplicity that you mentioned. There's probably only one that I went well. Okay, I missed it, but then again, I listened to 62 records this last week, so I might have missed. I might have
His
missed.
ears are bleeding.
Yeah. So, but I definitely heard Queen. Holy crap, did I hear Queen? Queen me, king me, queen me, queen me. And it's his voice. It's his voice. And those harmonies, that
Yes.
melody.
Well, he can do a lot with his voice.
Oh yes, I'm
which
just
is
saying
nice.
when that was laid the thickest, that's when and in the Who, for sure. In some instances, not on the
Aren't there
rock
two
side of the Who.
guys? Aren't there two vocalists?
Backing vocals is Ray Weston. I guess you could say yeah, Brett.
Because I
Yes,
read in
yes,
Bandcamp,
yes.
that's what it
Brett
kind of
Call
told.
is a lead too. Yeah, and I think that's. But you know what? I don't even know which one is pulling the Queen part. I'd have to ask the band, I guess. But
Come on
yeah,
up.
yeah. There's
Right.
that's right. There are a dual vocal in this coming in, but they're close. They're not wildly different. I don't think. One has that Marillion kind of songwriting style that what you just said was matter of factly or nonchalant or just
Nonchalant. Yeah.
nonchalant. Like they're making a point, but they're having a little fun making it
It's
rather
so
than beating you over
cool.
the head with it.
Nonchalant.
Mhm.
Um, yeah. So yeah, I don't know how else to say it other than just kind of blunt. And they don't make any apologies for it. It's just like this is what we're gonna say, and here it goes.
Mhm.
But so yeah, so I felt like it was kind of like an old school meets new age. I found it to be both albums really very high energy. And some of this I'm going to say, and hopefully it's taken the right way because I mean it in a good way. But I felt like several of the songs, a few of the songs, we'll say, some sounded like very soundtracky, like they could be in a soundtrack
Oh yeah,
because
I
they
felt
are
that.
so performative and okay, and there was one, and I can't remember the name of it now, and I should note it down. I know it almost had like a jingly, like a commercial jingly feel to it, but elongated. And
Oh darn it.
like I know, and I'm not a band, but like I wrote a song a long time ago, and I remember it has that same flavor to it. I can't really explain it, and it sounds fine. But if they twisted a little bit, it would be some. It could be something completely different. But anyway,
Cool.
that was there. And then, like you were saying, I can't remember who said theatrical, but I had written down like it is like a musical performance in a way, like a Tommy or a Meatloaf. I really like the piano. on
Yep.
our Brilliant Necks, that was good. The Silent Years.
Hmm.
And then on We Blur, that one I could, and I did just look up some notes now. So, but I felt that one got trippy and definitely Beatlesque, and I was thinking like Eleanor Rigsby, like
Yeah.
it was like a song on a mission.
Yeah.
And there were a few more than that, but that one.
Big influence, Beatles. Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. You
Um,
can tell. Yeah.
so yeah, I liked it. I like that they are experimental. I like that they definitely tried different harmonies. I think that they very easily could have just done it very standard and fit in, but um, from their pitches to everything, they challenge you a little bit to listen to it,
Mhm.
and I think that's where the Muse part kind of jumps out at me a little bit more.
Yeah.
They're just trying something new and different. Um, so that was 7, and then 2 definitely, longer listens. My If I had to pick my favorite, I definitely Water in Our Hands was, I think, the one that caught me more, but both really good. So
The unrelenting drumming coming from your face makes me shake, makes me run straight into the orbit of delirium. Edges loud and fill the room. All eyes on, makes me come apart.
You said, you know what? You're like, I didn't look up a lot about the band. You didn't need to look up a lot about the band. You had a lot to say about the band. I think they'd
uh,
be pretty pleased. They
I don't
better
know.
tune in.
Maybe except the jingle part, but I don't mean that as an insult. It
No.
just
Yeah, I'm
again,
trying
it's
to
that
like on We Blur.
you know
Yeah,
That
maybe
was
that one.
maybe
how
one
it
of the
is. You know how they have. You know how people like their writing style. Some people write down, and some people write
Yep.
up. Like it's
Yeah.
definitely up. They're all up.
Yes, that feel.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yes.
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, yeah. Yeah. There's no yeah. As they get compared to Genesis in some cases and discussions of that, I found
Yeah.
this album to be so far removed from that. Technically speaking, there was no moment of like Home by the Sea. There was
No.
no no giant hogweed. None of that darker.
No, the
So
only
these
thing
and
I
the
heard, that one song, just the intro, was the only time that I felt that Tony Banks keyboard. So
radio
I think,
waves. Yeah.
yeah, I really think that, they don't need to be compared to anybody anymore. Maybe they'll be.
Um.
Other
No,
bands will be
I think
compared to them.
the reason comparisons that come up or is just to
Sure.
get to people
People
to
in
engage with the
Well,
album
yeah.
because they're very
That's
absolutely.
hard to
yeah.
find.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
do have to sometimes because people are like, what are you talking about?
Comparisons, but it just puts some people in wheelhouse. One of the things that's going to get more difficult as YouTube carries on as we get to this show, I put the music in, but I get all kind of copyright moments, right? That
Right.
if this was to be monetized, who knows? I might get a penny, right? Or I don't get anything, and they want to shut me down. I don't know, like they're doing with Rick Beato and all these other people. But anyway, I do it anyway because how can I talk about it and say something and not play something? It just makes no sense to me.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
I know the record companies now that own these things or the bands, and they're fine with it. It's still YouTube makes the check mark and says, "Oh, that's somebody else's content." Good. That's good. Mark that. I don't have a problem with that. But just the band and them, they know why we're playing. I'm not playing it because they're popular. And I'm going to make millions.
Well,
Uh-huh.
I
Sue,
hope that our description. I hope it entices
Yeah.
someone to go and listen because
Yes.
I think that's the idea. I got one of the commenters who's normally always engaged with us has made that. He says after hearing that, I'm going to go what I say, and it's great because he'll always come back and say, what you said after listening to the album sounded so right to me, and I'm like, good, because sometimes I thought I was full of shit.
Oh, we
So
know that.
yeah,
Back to the scoring.
yes, Sue, let's get your score on that art, those two album covers.
Well, honestly, like what Deb said, I feel the same way. It works for it. For whatever reason, it's like it fits. So I'm just gonna give it a 3 though.
Okay, middle one. Flow of the records.
Mm, this is really difficult to do because one doesn't follow the other, and
That
and
much is
it's a
true. I'm waiting
me.
for somebody to say that they were not engaged to be together.
No,
Even
they
though their
weren't.
cover state they are, I don't feel that the sounds of the
True.
two records make the two records as one. So
That's, and I'm an accountant, so I was judging them each individually. I'm a mathematician. I can't help it.
Well, and I just didn't know if it's because I'm not an expert on prog.
who
But
is
I don't know.
the professor of Prague?
Um,
Maybe.
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 Um,
Cumulative.
I'm gonna give it. Oh man, I'm gonna give it a 3.75.
All right, all right, all right. Now we get into the musicianship, the band, the melody, the
Yeah,
marksmanship, the playing.
I think they're extremely talented. I will give them a 5.
Okay.
Yeah, I think they're really good.
Accessibility of the
And
record.
and this is hard again. You know, so and the funny thing is I mentioned Muse, and I would say that there's similarities between it. I'm not a huge Muse fan. Am I saying that Muse or Muse? Um,
Muse.
Muse,
the
I think.
Utes. Um,
You
um, but I appreciate the fact that they're extremely talented, and uh, you can just tell that everything was well. Maybe, and now they'll be sitting there going, "No, it wasn't." But it sounds very well thought out, and I appreciate the detail in it. So I'll give it a 4.5.
A 4.5.
Ooh.
Yeah, maybe then. And then finally production.
And I would have to say, mm, I give it a 4. I
We're
guess.
really close.
Yeah.
All right. All right. God, I'm gonna need to get a new chair.
Go fund me.
Oh, wait, I forgot one more though, Mark. I had a you know what happened? I was in the middle of writing notes and my computer glitched. There is a song on here though, darn it. Man. And it literally, I can't remember which one, and here I go again comparing it, and I enjoyed it. And it's had like rush tones to it, and then all of a sudden it went into like Music Man, that whole vibe, and it was like wow, and I don't know, again because it is prog-ish and all that stuff going on, but that takes a lot of talent to blend like that. And I was curious to hear if you had heard that Music Man. Um, I'm gonna have to go back and
if you were going to
it's water. It was the water in our hands.
yes,
Yeah.
my assumption was going to be it was in 2, the
Yeah.
first record, right? Because that
Mhm.
had the blending of a lot of things going on.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
And that's unfortunate that I don't have that trained ear or patience to like stay there and listen to it and appreciate, because obviously there's some intricacies, and like they're students of their game for
It
sure.
feels like it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. All right. So challenge comes the album. I knew it. People have already been talking about it. Obviously, this was released way back in the first quarter of the year, and it's been on people's lists as one of those albums of the year in the prog environment.
Okay.
I hear, yes, I definitely hear. Queen was in my head. I had um, the Who, early Who, more so than newer Who.
Yeah, I
Uh,
agree.
there's a songwriting here that has doesn't fall into the whiny side of things. All right, the sticks and people. Okay, so
Yes. Yeah.
AOR.
AOR. Yeah.
Okay, this is a band that teeters on the brink of both AOR and Prague. And I think it's a beautiful mix. I think it's the most cohesive mix there is for things like this. Yes, I hear the Genesis. I hear the Gentle Giant. But what I hear more so, and this is the future of Prague. These are the bands that. This is a band that didn't come in at the beginning of Prague and isn't a 70s 60s kind of thing, but
Mm-mm.
they have a patience for it. They have a knack for adding it, to feel it, to utilize, but they don't copy it. There's nothing that's that familiar in this that you're gonna go, oh, geez, they're
Yeah.
ripping off this, ripping off that. No, there's
Exactly.
not.
Feels very fresh. It feels very creative.
Yeah, it's not like I'm all of a sudden going, do I really need to listen to ELP again? There's nothing like that.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and I love the idea that the band reaches into depths, but doesn't go into crazy.
Yeah.
All right, everything
Just
kind of
enough.
still holds together. You know,
Mhm.
Mister um, uh, Busby, all right, Chris, who is
Yeah.
the only remaining member of the faction that started this band.
Yes.
He could while out and have a party on his keyboard, piano, but he subtly holds it together and gets larger where it needs to be, subdued in other places, lets other people take the lead. And I think that's the flow of the records.
Mhm.
That's the greatest part of it. He is the holding the backbone. It's not about the singing, although there's a lot of singing.
There
Mhm.
There's a
is.
lot of
There is.
vocal, right? And my only knock at one point was like, damn, I wish they would have let it go for a little bit, right? There's even in that final track on 2, we get some rap, believe it or not.
Yes.
All
Yes.
right. And so
What's happening?
I'm not saying they're throwing everything in but the kitchen sink, but it
But
works. It
it
worked.
did.
Mhm.
I love that flow. I like 2. I have a good time with 2. I didn't mind 7 at all. I think they're 2. No, are they cohesive? No, I tried to make them cohesive.
They're
By
not.
God, did
Oh
I try.
no.
I listened to more of 7 than I did of 2 because I was trying so hard to go, it's gotta fit. You know, they did all this and maybe it does, but it just doesn't to me. To have them
Okay.
separated, but they shipped together. They didn't ship together. I mean, they came out at the same time. I get it, right? Water in Our Hands, 28 minutes. There's a lot there. All kinds of crescendos, all kinds of and they're not meaty crescendos. They're not like bombastic fall off a cliff kind of stuff.
Right.
But they have wonderful transitional moments and
Mhm.
bridge work that works amazingly, and it's bridge
Yeah, the
work
bridge
that,
work for sure.
yeah, for sure, right?
Yeah.
So and Time Has No Place, that was the best lyrics of the entire 2 albums.
Hmm.
That one made sense. On We Blur. I That's the
Hmm.
only track that lost me, really, in the whole ball of wax. Tiny Star was a good ending and had everything in it that I was expecting. But I think Boulders on Hill and Cul-de-sac, and those 2 together, in that they worked for me the best, and 7. Um, they the album artwork. So I'll start with mine. I gave it a
Okay.
3.5. I think it did carry. I get it, radio waves and this idea of
Okay.
time silent radio, right? Well, it's all right.
Yeah.
I don't know
Okay.
what I would have done. They pulled it off. And the album covers, they don't look similar, but they fit similarly. So
Mhm.
Yeah, they do.
okay,
If you
I'll
look
let
at
it
the
go.
intricacies of it, you can see there's some. If you were an artist, a true artist, Sue's more the artist than you. You can
I
see
honestly,
there's,
yeah, the blue and green, right? That's
yeah.
if you're talking about the first album. There's the blue and green,
Hmm.
for the first song, Into Blue and Green. The Air of Ivy Hill. Well, it looks like it's on a hill, maybe. After that, the Emerald Garden. Well, I didn't, I'm worried about this whole. I don't know what is it? Wizard of Oz. I don't think that was in there, but
I don't think
and
that.
don't ever do this ever and ever more thing to confuse me when I speak. All right. So, what do I love? The album full of music. Yeah, 4.5. All right. Their only misstep in this is probably again Ennui Blur. I don't know. That was my only half step off.
Okay.
The musicianship, the band, the melody. I think they're spot on. I think they really got. Is it their sound? Yes, but it's all their
Yeah.
sounds too, and it's a great way to make for great accessibility. So that's a
Yep.
4.25. Why isn't it a perfect 5? Prague is never a perfect 5. There's just no way. Just no,
So hard. So
never accessible. It's
difficult.
like classical. Oh yes, very
Yes.
accessible.
Yeah.
Come on
Yeah.
down, you're gonna love it. No,
Okay,
it'll be something.
Chopin.
Album production, 5. I didn't see any, but people might get into the idea of the vinyls and what this sounds like, but I didn't hear
Yeah, I don't
anything
know
that
any. We need
I
Crichton for that, not us.
yeah, I didn't feel that there was any like, boy, I wish they would have toned that down, brought that up. I think they knew exactly what they were looking to do. And they brought this guy back that they worked with in the past.
Oh,
And I think that was a
okay.
brilliant thing. My only deduct, again, I mentioned, but I'll say another one, too long. All right, took you too long. You wrote this thing from 2018 to 2024.
Oh,
You might be forgotten
yeah.
that amount of time, right? You're not the
Do
novelist.
they have a big following?
I would imagine so. At least that point, they were pretty steady in their delivery, but there's no question that that's a little bit of you're struggling. But then again, okay, I'll take a notch off of that because we had some sort of stupid pandemic. All right, so my score is a 22.25. Dam's score is a 20.5, and Susie Q's is a 20.25. Now we go back to the ladies. Dam, where is this in your wheelhouse listening habit? Is it one and done? Not for me. I liked it. It could grow on me like fungus, maybe. I really enjoyed it and will probably become an album I go back to from time to time. I can't believe I missed this. This is the greatest album ever. It's my new favorite.
Oh, that's
Or
really hard.
somewhere in between. You don't have to,
Okay, there's only 4 choices. I thought there was 5.
Yeah,
There's only
no,
4.
there's only
Okay, I'm at 3. I'll do
you're
number
at
3
I enjoyed
because
it.
you know what? It's not fair for me because of all the, like we've said before, all the homework you give me.
Yes.
And my availability to listen to these kinds of things, I have a 5-minute drive to work and I sleep on the couch. So I'm gonna give it the 3rd choice. How's
Yeah.
that?
So, damn, listening to this in her car, it took her 17 days to get through the first song.
Especially the first song on 2.
Man, didn't I have to start over because I don't remember? No. All right. Sue, same to you.
Okay. And what was 3 again?
I really enjoyed it. It'll probably become an album I go back to from time to time.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Number 4 is I Can't Believe I Missed It. It's ridiculously good.
But number
It's one
2,
right there.
like the space between 2 and 3, give her 2 again because there's a
I
lot of
liked it.
space.
It'll grow on me like fungus. I mean, it's
I'm okay with 3.
yeah.
Yeah. Again, like I could see if 1 or 2 of these songs was on the radio, I would definitely listen to it. I wouldn't turn the channel at all. Am I going to go rush to listen to it for any particular reason? I don't know.
This is there's a band out there, and I don't know if they're going to have other albums or not because they've had changes in band members and stuff, but they're called Spock's Beard.
Oh, I've heard of that.
They're really good at doing this. And Echolin is kind of on that similar plane. So if you like Echolin now and you heard it, or you like Spock's Beard, you can check out Echolin. This band wants to have a Steely Dan moment,
Oh,
doesn't quite get there.
yeah.
That it could hit radio play. So I think they may use that, infuse that. I totally love number 2. And I kind of like my prog that way sometimes
Yeah,
where
you
it's-
do.
Yeah, it's right. So, but then again, I'm still a Genesis lover. with the Phil Collins era too. So I don't segregate in Genesis. I love it, but as a matter of fact, we do that catalog review show. I'm screwed, but
Oh no, I know, but that
yeah,
would be interesting.
yeah. So that's my concept. I believe that this is real. I really enjoyed it. I knew it was going to be good. A lot of people talking about it. But my question was, where is it on the spectrum, and how did they do it? That can sometimes put off, but this was not. It's a really good record. All right, so 20.5 plus 20.25 plus
I didn't know if I had to do the whole
22.25
overall rating.
divided by 3 gives them a score of 21. Wait a minute, does that? Yeah, that's
What? They just missed.
Yes, they just missed.
Oh wow.
But 21. They lost to Edwin by 0.125 for the
That's
tie.
a close.
And if there was a tie, then I don't know what the hell they do. So I.
Oh
whatever.
God, we got to go
Geez,
to
I
bed.
can always edit these shows and say somebody went no. I don't do that. Anyway, so why this band? Why this artist? So let me get into that for a second, just to give you a finalization here. Accolade has been around since the '90s. But this is a return of 10 years, basically. This is a band that has this spirit all locked up and headed by keyboardist and piano and synth of Chris Busby, the only original member that's really, truly left from the formation. Not that people died, they just went their separate ways. I think this part of the membership and the things that are put together has a tighter hold on me than past Accolade.
Okay.
It feels like, again, it feels like it's moving forward, like not that they're a comeback.
Right.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
So Ray Weston, lead and backing vocals and bass. He is not the original founding, but he replaced that bassist a long time ago. Brett Call, guitars, lead and backing vocals. Then you got Chris, who was talked about already, does backing, and then Jordan Pearson, drums, percussion as a full member. I think he started on Cowboy Poems Free, and then he did Time Silent Radio 2 and 7. So why this album tonight? First, it was offered up by one of our subscribers who had actually started with us before we had 100, even had 100 maybe.
Wow.
And always, and that's Will C. That's what I'll call him. Is
I
he
will.
from this area? Maybe. I've got a feeling he is.
Really?
I haven't heard from him since my grandmother's passing, which was over a month ago, and we were trying to get this date together. So I'm hoping that it was just too busy. And his YouTube channel is he just has one so he can follow people. It's not like he's a YouTuber, so he's probably not getting hits and messages and looking at that all the time.
Sure.
So I want to thank him profoundly for suggesting.
Thank you, Will.
We didn't get together, but he did suggest another record.
Oh.
So we'll leave that aside if I can get back in touch with him and have him on, because he did say he would have loved to have been on. He brought it to our attention, and he thought this was a really hot release for the prog world, and I know that it's still in contention. There are some really fantastic ones to beat too, who are a little bit more in my wheel. I mean, so you got this. Like they AOR, right? I like that, but this generally comes with less moody darkness and deceit. And I like moody darkness and deceit.
I know you do, but then you need therapy.
And then when a band that you love, one of their albums, like I think one of the greatest prog albums ever made, and this band just came out with theirs a couple weeks ago. Man, I haven't listened to it yet. I refuse to listen to it or hear anybody's reviews because I'm not ready for it. You must prepare for these things.
Ah, okay.
Okay, that's just me. You don't have to prepare. So he thinks it's some of the best prog he's heard in a while, and the band coming from 10-year, it's stupendous that they accomplished that. And I certainly agree. What do you think? Please give us a comment or two. Let us know that you went into these albums, what you thought. Is it going to be album of the year for you or close to it? I thank the panelists for participating. We will return in a few weeks. And we're going to go from one extreme, which is having a subscriber put out a record and challenge us, to having a band do it. Yes. So that's right. We got Sigilu from Barcelona, Spain, to present their album, right? And our panelists are going to be brave enough to do it in front of their face,
Oh, I will. I don't
right?
have a problem.
It's beautiful music, born of
Mm.
Barcelona, Spain. These tan-faced, beautiful.
Hot men.
I would imagine, these are young men who are just gonna, they want to crush the
You
world.
need another letter on my
Yeah,
name.
the album name is Beta, and yes, we have a Spanish translator. Why? I don't want anything lost in translation. I've never been to Spain, and I don't want to have that like accidentally hated because of my lack of filter.
Well,
Good luck.
Yeah,
good luck.
too bad.
So we'll let you know when that's coming. We do know the date that we believe we're going to be doing that, and then we'll release it. So again, we love to know your comments, impressions that it left, and of course, Edwin is still king at this point at 21.125. So his album Another Spin Around the Sun is still in contention to join the album wars at the end of the year. Will it stay
We're getting
there?
close. We're getting
Me think
close.
no. I
Hmm.
think Beta is it, man. Whoa.
Oh.
Tell your friends, your neighbors, your teacher, your dog walker, your mailman, your spiritual advisor, maybe your parents. I told my parents they don't watch it all. They can't handle it. They
Loser.
can't handle it. We're on the web at beyondyourradio.com, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, of course. It's articles, videos, podcasts coming soon. All about bands like these, albums that we can get our hands on, and anything goes. Go Beyond Your Radio, let's say Real Music Appreciation Channel. Thanks for watching. And remember, album for today is all brand new albums. Not a single album is from any other year but this year. So watch those because we can't get to them all on Album Review Saturday. We're trying, but we can't have a 3-hour show. People only watch an hour show. Anyway. All right. Thanks for watching and happy listening.
Adios.